Cool Air by H.P. Lovecraft was first published in 1928. Mystery? I don't remember. You ask me to explain why I am afraid of a draught of cool air, why I shiver more than others upon entering a cold room, and seem nauseated and repelled when the chill of evening creeps through the heat of a mild autumn day. There are those who say I respond to cold as others do to a bad odor, and I am the last to deny the impression. What I will do is to relate the most horrible circumstance I've ever encountered, and leave it to you to judge whether or not this forms a suitable explanation of my peculiarity. It is a mistake to fancy that horror is associated intrinsically with darkness, silence, and solitude. I find it in the glare of mid-afternoon, and the clangor of a metropolis. Well, here, thunderstorms and stuff are most likely to be mid-afternoon. And in the teeming midst of a shabby and commonplace roaming house with a prosaic landlady and two stalwart men by my side. In the spring of 1923, I had secured some dreary and unprofitable magazine work in the city of New York, and being unable to pay any substantial rent, began drifting from one cheap boarding establishment to another in search of a room which might combine the qualities of decent cleanliness and durable furnishings and a very reasonable price. It soon developed that I had only a choice between different evils, but after a time I came upon a house in West 14th Street which disgusted me much less than the others I had sampled. The place was a 4-story mansion of brownstone, dating apparently from the late 40s and fitted with woodwork and marble, whose stained and sullied splendor argued a descent from high levels of tasteful opulence. In the rooms, large and lofty, and decorated with impossible paper and ridiculously ornate cornices, there lingered a depressing mustiness and hint of obscure cookery, but the floors were clean, the linen tolerably regular, and the hot water not too often cold or turned off, so that I had come to regard it as at least a bearable place to hibernate till one might really live again. The landlady, a slatternly, almost bearded Spanish woman named Herrero, did not annoy me with gossip or with criticisms of the late burning electric light in my third-floor front hall room, and my fellow lodgers were as quiet and uncommunicative as one might desire, being mostly Spaniards a little above the coarsest and crudest grade. Only the din of the streetcars in the thoroughfare below proved a serious annoyance. I had been there about 3 weeks when the first odd incident occurred. One evening, at about 8, I heard a spattering on the floor and became suddenly aware that I had been smelling the pungent odor of ammonia for some time. Looking about, I saw that the ceiling was wet and dripping, the soaking apparently proceeding from a corner on the side toward the street. Anxious to stop the matter at its source, I hastened to the basement to tell the landlady, and I was assured by her that the trouble would quickly be set right. "Dr. Munoz," she cried, as she rushed upstairs ahead of me. "He have spill his chemicals. He is to seek for doctor himself. Seeker and seeker all the time. But he will not have no off air for help. He is very queer in his sickness all day. He take funny smelling baths, and he cannot get excite or warm. He is own housework. He do his little room are full of bottles and machines, and he do not work as doctor, but he was great once. My father in Barcelona have hear of him, and only juice now he feeks an arm of the plumber that get hurt of sudden. He never e'er go out, only on roof, and my boy Esteban, he bring him fees, food, and laundry, and medicines and chemicals. My God, the sal ammoniac that man use, for keep him cool. A lot of these stories of someone's Hispanic are what they would call black. They're gonna make the language like that, and it's just not necessary. Mrs. Herrero disappeared up the staircase to the 4th floor, and I will try to change that to regular speak at some point. And I returned to my room. The ammonia ceased to drip, and as I cleaned up what had spilt, opened the window for air. I heard the landlady's heavy footsteps above me. Dr. Munoz I had never heard, save for certain sounds of some gasoline-driven mechanism. Since his step was soft and gentle, I wondered for a moment what the strange affliction of this man might be, and whether his obstinate refusal of outside aid